Faux Wheel Drive is one of those Piston Cup racing sponsors that just gets so overlooked by everyone. I mean, Mattel almost never releases the racers from it, despite having three of them to alternate from. Not to mention, when they did the original Faux Wheel Drive racer, Johnny Blamer, they waited until the very last possible second to do him in 2010 as a rubber tires release. And they didn't even do him in regular form with the plastic tires until 2017. Luckily, though, today we finally have his brand new Thailand variant for 2023. So, of course, welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. I'm super excited to get into this one because I don't even have the old Chinese Johnny Blamer because of how sparse he was when he was released. Like I said, only two times. They did do him in a 3-pack with the rubber tires in 2010 and some sort of like mail-in thing before that. So I don't really know how that worked out when they did that, but I heard he was released in some sort of mail-in kind of way. I'll try to find out more information on that later. But yeah, the Cars 1 four-wheel drive racer number 54. I absolutely love his design, and I'm so happy to finally have him. Hopefully this Thailand variant does end up looking nice though, because as you probably know, there's a lot of Thailand variants that just never look as good as their Chinese predecessors. But anyways, love this artwork. I'm so happy they gave him this artwork because this is his original artwork. And when they did him in 2017, they did not use this artwork for whatever reason. I have no idea why. They decided to give him a new artwork that year, which was kind of nice actually because, I always appreciate when they give cars a new artwork. But here is a picture of it. It was absolutely awful. I don't even know why I hate it that much because, I guess it's not that bad. It's just a little boring. But I do hate it. Luckily, though, this one right here does feature the same artwork as his original 2010 release, which is really cool and nostalgic because I just absolutely love that era of cars collecting. So I think it's really cool that they are kind of like showing some love to it, I guess, by using the classic artwork for Johnny Blamer here. Anyways, though, you could find this guy in 2023 singles case J and L. And yeah, I did not find him. I had to order him online from Mr. Docket, hence why it's taken me quite a while to review this guy. But it looks like they did give him a new-ish kind of expression, which is cool, a little bit different. We'll compare it to some other Piston Cup racers of the same model later on, of course. But yeah, it is cool that they changed a little bit. Anyways, on the back, as seen in Cars, the very first Cars movie, and we have Greg Candyman, the Taco Mint Racer number 101, Fillmore, of course, Dexter Hoover with his green flag, Misty Motorcrass, the Rev and Go Cars 1 racer, number 73, who I have right here, and I'm going to be reviewing her very soon as well, because just like Johnny, I never had her Chinese release, so this is another one that's brand new to me. And then after that, it's like these two, like they're some of the last Piston Cup Cars 1 racers I need in my collection, so that's pretty cool. And then, of course, we have Krusty Rotor, the Vinyl Dupe Racer, number 76, and then Lizzie, of course. Nice to see Lizzie back there, as well as all the Piston Cup racers. It's actually a pretty darn nice card back, I gotta say. Not sure why there's a card missing there, but seems to be the case all the time now. Anyways, though, I do have the other four-wheel drive racers from Cars 3, Tommy Highbanks, and then, of course, the next gen, whose name is... what is his name? Oh, why am I blanking out on this? I just was looking at him the other day. Herb Kerbler. Herb Kerbler. Very iconic name, so I'm surprised I forgot that. But anyways, Johnny Blamer here. Can't wait to open him up. It's like an Uno reverse card I'm playing because I already have and had these Cars 3 newer racers for four-wheel drive. I've had them for a long time, and now I'm opening Johnny after I already have them, which is kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, without any further ado, let's bust open Johnny Blamer. Alright, everyone, well, here's Johnny, all opened up out of his package, of course. He looks pretty darn nice, I must say. For being made in Thailand now, I gotta say his eyes do look pretty nice. I like that they gave him a new expression. They didn't change his mouth up, but they did change his eyes ever so slightly. And all the decals don't look too bad, but we'll see when we zoom in. First off, though, I do have a little story I want to share with you guys. You remember in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I thought Johnny was involved in some sort of promo or something like that. Like you could get him before he actually was officially released in 2010. Well, yes, that was the case. He was technically released first as a 155 scale diecast in 2008, and it was exclusive to Europe. So basically, how it went was if you bought 6 cars diecast and you somehow showed your proof of purchase to Mattel, they would then send you a free Johnny Blamer diecast. He was the first look at the time, of course, in the mail, I guess, and he would just come in this little plastic bag that said cars on it. And that's pretty darn awesome. Never actually knew that before, so news to me. Thank you so much to Mr. Doggett for filling me in on all this information because I'm really glad I was able to mention it in this video. Another thing before we move on and take a closer look at Johnny Blamer's diecast is he's got a huge description written for him in the original Meet the Cars book. And I don't have that book, but luckily it is available online. So basically, it says that other racers just love to crash into Johnny for whatever reason, not really sure why. Maybe it's his color scheme, who knows? And he's been involved in more collisions than anyone else in Piston Cup's history, leading to the birth of his nickname, Magnet Face. Magnet Face. I find that so ironic because honestly, he kind of does look like a magnet in his face region. And that just kind of goes for all of these cars that share the same model as him, which by the way is called the Capital Motors Verve XT. I never knew that before. I kind of even forgot that any of the Piston Cup race cars even had like real car models. They're not real life car models, but you know what I mean. Pretty cool. And also in the description, it says that he's one of the hardest working cars, which is pretty darn cool. Good job, Johnny. Although, how can he be the hardest working car, but also the car that gets crashed into the most? Like, I don't know. I guess maybe that doesn't really make sense, though. And to end it all off, it says that he's never, not once, not ever, finished a race in the 10-year racing career that he's had. And he holds the record for 545 starts with 0 finishes. Like, how? Why would the Faux Wheel Drive team even sponsor this guy if he has never once won a race? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I think this whole description is just ludicrous, but that's what it said in the old Meet the Cars book, so hey, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. Also, I'm kind of confused because it says he has been racing for 10 years. Does that mean he started racing in 1996? Like, that's a long time ago. But I guess, because I guess they kind of insinuate in Cars 3 a lot of the original Cars 1 Piston Cup stock cars did retire shortly after the events of the first Cars movie. I mean, they must have if Cal Weathers and all of them retired in 2017. You know, that would mean they raced about 10 years. So I guess, yeah, that would mean he started in 1996, as did probably most of the stock cars we see in Cars 1, obviously excluding the King and Chick Hicks. But I do want to show you guys where Johnny appears at in the first Cars movie. Sorry for the rant, but I just had a lot of information to tell you. Unfortunately, he doesn't speak or really have that much screen time at all in the movie, but of course, we get to see him racing in the background, and he does end up in Chick's big crash, so there's that, but I don't really think he gets too damaged. Definitely not as damaged as poor Chuck Armstrong, of course. But anyways, folks, now it is time to take a closer look at Johnny Blamer's diecast here and see how he looks. I think Thailand actually did a pretty good job with him. I mean, yeah, he's going to have some blurry decals. What's new? Just look at some of those words there. You can barely even make them out. But luckily, I know what they say already. A couple of things I think they did really good on, though, are the colors and the expression. Really glad that they changed it because, I mean, has China ever tried to change a Piston Cup racer's expression before? I don't think so. In fact, Thailand really hasn't even done that before now either. So, this is actually pretty monumental, I guess. Now, obviously, his mouth is no different. Same old casting there, which is okay. I'm just happy they changed his eyes. And just for comparison's sake, there you go. You can see that his eyelid on the right side, well, our right, his left, it's definitely pointing more downwards and it kind of curves up. Whereas the older style was kind of curved more upwards. So, yeah, a little bit different. Not that much different, but I guess it's a little bit like moved up too, like the whole thing. It's not really touching his eyeball anymore. And he does have the shadow effect too, so that's cool. You know, not the biggest expression change in the world, but still cool that they changed it a little. I think it looks really good. It's different enough to make a little bit of a fuss about it. Anyways, though, number 54 on his headlight there. Really do like how the bottom is just this cool light blue color. I really didn't even know he had that much blue on him, but yeah, he's got quite a lot of blue, which is cool. It really mixes in with the green very nicely, then the crusty kind of yellowy brown color that he has, some real brown on the bottom and the there is the dirt decals, of course, right down there. That is what four wheel drive is. It's meant to be a pun on four wheel drive. And obviously, they make dirt decals, and that's why Johnny is covered in them. As you can see, he's got the dirty tire tread marks on top of him. Really cool. And then it even goes onto his hood there, which is cool. Does not go on to his eyelids, though, which that would look kind of weird. So I'm glad they didn't do that. And then, yeah, on the sides, he does have some actual dirt splatter. Well, it's not real, it's just a decal. It's meant to look like he's all dirty and of the elements. But of course, he is not. He is a Piston Cup racer. I really do like that, though. It's a cool brand. We've never really seen anything like that in the Piston Cup before. A lot of the brands that they have are like, some sort of car food, drink, I don't know, something for their engines, windshield wiper fluid, stuff like that, like alternators, you know what I mean. Not a lot of like dirt decals though. I've never seen that in a Piston Cup racing sponsor before. So that's pretty cool. Really happy to have a complete set of Piston Cup four-wheel drive racers now. One thing I don't care for though on Johnny's design is how the four-wheel drive logo is not actually facing forward. I think it's really weird that it's like only straight if you put them this way. It just, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool. It's kind of a fun design, something different. But the fact that he just has so much writing underneath the four wheel drive logo, it just makes it impossible to read some of it. And it's just so scrunched together, so tiny. But obviously, I know what it says. It says dirt decals for urban SUVs, just like off road. So, I mean, that's cool and all. I like all the writing. Definitely makes him feel more old school. But I don't know. I think the logo on the front is just in a weird spot. If it was me, I probably would have put four wheel drive, like just one line on the top and then wrote all the slogans, or just put like the three words on top each other, like more on the left side, and then do all the slogans and everything on the right side. I don't know. It just looks a bit cluttered. Luckily, though, on Tommy Highbank, so I gotta say, I think I do like more than Johnny ever so slightly. Obviously, you can see he does not have a lot of that writing, which is surprising because usually it does get translated from Cars 1 to Cars 3 stock car. But usually it's the next gen that takes a lot of it off. And yeah, he did. Herb Curler doesn't have a lot of it, a lot of that writing on the front, but definitely a little bit of it. So they didn't take all of it off with the future four-wheel drive racers, but they did take most of it off, which honestly probably isn't a bad thing. That's a lot of writing. I do like it because it makes him feel old school, but still, it's a lot. It's a lot to read. Then he has all of his contingency sponsors on the side: Nitro Raid, Piston Cup, Revolting, Octane Gain, Mood Springs, No Stall, Vitaline, Gaskets, Gas Sprin, RPM, Little Turkey Pistons, and then I think there's some more on the bottom, but they actually get covered by the dirt decals there, which is really cool. Very clever. I wouldn't want to be those Piston Cup sponsors on the bottom though, because it's like, what the heck are you paying for to have your logo on the four-wheel drive racer if it's just going to get covered up by a dirt decal? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Really cool yellow color on the 54. Very bright and eye-catching, which is nice with the black outline on it. And then you can see some mud on the bottom, and then it looks like some sand, and then it looks like a forest, which is really cool. It's like a full-on painting on Johnny Blamer. Very inviting. It's like a Bob Ross painting, you know? Put a little tree there, nice little happy tree over there, and that one needs a friend. Put one next to that one over there. I don't know if you guys ever saw Bob Ross, but I watch him a lot, at least once a week, because he's always on on the regular TV, and he's very soothing to watch. So if you guys like ASMR videos, watch Bob Ross. He's no longer with us, though, unfortunately, but I love his afro. He's got the best hair you could get. Anyway, so four-wheel drive logo on the back here over the wheel well, then it says dirt decals, and over the 54 it says for urban SUVs. So yeah, they're really trying to cram in all the text and slogans and all that jazz as they could on Johnny. They just put it everywhere. On the top, he's got number 54 again with the cool tire tread marks. Very nice. Pretty small car that would have had to have been to actually drive on top Johnny and put those tire tread marks. So I don't really get that. But anyways, on the trunk it says four wheel drive again. Looks like he has some more like tire tread marks, I think a little bit, and then looks like some rocks or just like pieces of dirt that he has. But I mean, honestly, who in their right mind would pay to look dirty? Like that's what you pay for a car wash for, to get clean. not to get dirty. I don't really get that. But nonetheless, I mean, the dirt decals do look cool on Johnny. It does make him look unique and sets him apart from the other Piston Cup racers who all look very clean. So that's cool. But yeah, anyways, in the back it says Faux Wheel Drive again, and then it says just like off road. So they didn't put that slogan on the sides, but they did manage to get it on the back, which is nice. And the 54 is over that left headlight there. And then yeah, it's completely white in the back, which is actually really nice. Because if it was just all green, all blue, it'd get a little boring. So I'm glad that it trails off towards the back. Kind of looks like, I think it's supposed to be like a sky, the white clouds and the blue sky. I think at least, because it's a very light blue, so that's what it reminds me of. And yeah, it creates a nice contrast between the colors, especially in the back, because then you can see the green trees again. And I don't know, they just pop better than they do on the side. But I really do like all of his decals, the dirt ones and just the regular decals, the green trees and the sky and all that. It looks really nice. This side's the exact same though. Says four wheel drive dirt decals for urban SUVs. Very cool. And then the 54 is pointed the other way because, it's supposed to be pointing towards the front on both sides, which makes sense. And then, yeah, he does have his little exhaust down there, which is nice. And on the bottom, S27A is his date stamp. But I guess that would mean he was made the 27th week of 2023. Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense. And then you can see, that's pretty cool. It seems like his base color is the light blue, which is actually not something I was expecting. I thought his base color would be green because it's the most prominent color. But no, that's weird. Pretty cool though. This is the Capital Motors Verve XT model, so it's the same as, Dave alternators, a lot of those cars. I'm sure you all have seen this model before. Although I would say out of the three Piston Cup main racing models, I feel like this one's the least common, probably. Here's Winford, Bradford, Rutherford, and it just occurred to me, I think this guy is my only one from Thailand, so that's kind of cool. I also have Ryan Shields. Ryan Shields is the last one they need to do from Thailand. They've only ever done his metallic release from Thailand, so hopefully we can get him soon. Same with just all the Piston Cup racers. Hopefully they can finish making them all from Thailand sooner or later because I really don't know why it's taking them so long to do them all. Like, there's only a few left. They need to do Ryan Shields and Eugene Karbareski, and there's one more, but I can't think of who it is. So let me know in the comments if you know. But anyways, this is what you guys were all waiting for, I'm sure. The big old comparison of three generations of four-wheel drive racers. Johnny Blamer, Tommy Highbanks, Herb Kurbler. You can tell that from Johnny to Tommy, they really didn't change all that much. But I do like Tommy better, I think, because of the fact that I feel like he's a bit more clean. His decal on the front, the big old four-wheel drive logo, it is bigger, it's more easy to read. I'm not just talking about like the clarity of it. I just mean it's bigger and it's just better. This is like, I don't like how it's just like facing the side on a slant and then there's all kinds of writing under it. It just looks unnatural, which is kind of the point of it, I think. He's supposed to look kind of unnatural. Doesn't want to look so pretty and perfect, obviously. But I don't know. I just think, yeah, I mean, even the dirt decals, they look better on the side of Tommy. They look more realistic, whereas on Johnny, there's just a little bit. Like here, it's like it goes on the number, and it's just like, it's pretty cool. But that makes sense. This is 2006. This is, well, about 2016 when he retired, I think is supposed to be. But Cars 3 came out in 2017. But yeah, like it makes sense that even like not just the design evolved, but the actual quality of their product evolved too, which is pretty cool. It got better over time. Same number though and everything. I really like that. Like that looks cool. Full wheel drive. Here it's like they just did a straight line. So I think it's cooler on Tommy. I think everything just looks a bit cooler. But I mean, it really is the same. Like even the placement of the tire tread marks on the top, it's really in the same spot. So there's not really a ton of differences. A lot more blue on Tommy, I'd say. Not as much white, but I don't know. The colors just match better together. A lot more brown too. Like the whole top part of him is completely like a crusty kind of yellowy brown color. And even has dirt on the hood. I didn't even realize that. That's cool. He's just a lot better, I think, than Johnny. But no offense to Johnny, the OG. He's definitely cool. I like him a lot, and I think Thailand did an okay job with him. Herb Kurbler, though, I can't say the same for him. I really don't care for Herb. He's just kind of boring. It's like your classic modern upgrade. I don't even get, like, does that even look like dirt at all? No, it looks like, what, I don't know, straw or something. Like, that looks like for fiber fuel, it looks like the corn stalks that he's supposed to have on his side. It does not look like dirt. And yeah, I mean, everything on him. The colors are just too simple. They don't mix, and they just, I don't know. I don't really like Herb Curler that much, but I think it's cool that he does have the green tinted windows. That is kind of sick, not gonna lie. Anyways, though, I think that's all I have to say for Johnny Blamer. I do love me a good Piston Cup racer, so this is a long video. But yeah, I got another cool Piston Cup racer review coming soon. Misty Motorcross, of course, the only female racer in the Piston Cup. And then I have tons of 2024 ones I want to review too. So it's going to be a good time on the Cars Garage if you're a Piston Cup racer fan. A lot of Cars 1 Piston Cup racers too, because they don't even really make Cars 3 stock cars anymore in the next gens. Well, I don't really need to open any of them. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this review. Let me know which Faux Wheel Drive racer is your favorite in the comments down below. Mine's Tommy, followed by Johnny, and then Herb. And yeah, with that, I'll see you guys next time right here on the Cars Garage.